I'm standing here with Steve Nicholson, the chief football writer at the Derby Telegraph. Steve, after Derby County's 1-0 win, what did you make of that?
Well, it wasn't convincing. The two games so far haven't been convincing. The key, first of all, is a lot of players have got a lot of minutes under their belt. Again, I think Paul Clement used 21 players here today at Northampton, and that's the key. And hopefully everyone's come through unscathed. Again, that's the important part of pre-season. But it wasn't a convincing display, and it was interesting afterwards that when I asked Paul Clement for his reaction, he said he was disappointed. He thought the first half was very poor. He thought there was a marginal improvement second half, but he clearly wasn't happy. And fair play to him. I think that kind of honesty is important. I think if the players need to be told that it wasn't good enough, that's what a head coach and a manager has to do, even at this early stage. So hopefully now they'll kick on from this, and he wants to see an improvement in the next few games. And of course they go and play 2 games in Holland next week. But they won 1-0. Johnny Russell scored the goal, took it very well, sharp movement, sharp finish, and Johnny actually over the 2 games so far has probably been Derby's brightest attacking player. So that was good to see. But Northampton missed a penalty, when it was 1-0 in the second half there. Lee Grant made a couple of good saves as well, although Derby had 2 chances at the end, Craig Bryson and Connor Salmon, where they could have won by more. But overall, as I say, not convincing, and Paul Clement certainly told the players that.
The captain's armband started with Chris Baird, moved over in the second half. It's developing into a very interesting situation, that isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, that was very interesting. We saw the teams walk out, and Chris Baird was wearing the captain's armband, and Richard Keogh was, I think, a couple of players behind in the lineup. So, Richard was out there. He's been captain for 3 years now, 3 seasons, but Chris Baird had the armband. So, very interesting situation. Richard Keogh played the full 90 minutes. Even when Chris Baird went off, Craig Bryson took the armband. So obviously it's under consideration. I asked Paul Clement about it afterwards. He said it is something he's considering. He's going to look at his options over who should wear that armband. But at the moment it's looking like it won't be Richard Keogh.
And finally, Raul Albentosa, an absentee from the squad. What do you make of that situation as well?
Yeah, I'm not totally surprised that Raul could be heading out on a season-long loan to Malaga. We understand talks are taking place, and it looks like that deal will go ahead. It wasn't easy for Raul when he came in last season. He came into a side that started to stutter and struggle for form. Very difficult to come into a new side, but when you come to a new country, never played in the Championship before, I always thought that was a big ask, and so he could head out on loan. With him out, then of course Jake Buxton recovering from injury and Farron Rawson also out. There's no doubt that Derby are looking in the market for a centre-back, and that I'm sure they'll step up that search. I asked Paul Clements about it, and he said that's the way it's looking. And there's been a lot of speculation about Jason Shackle. That's still bubbling away. So in the near future, I would expect Derby to make some kind of move to bring a centre-back in.